Welcome to today's explainer. So, have you ever actually stopped, looked up at the night sky, and wondered why it's just so incredibly quiet out there? I mean, humanity is constantly blasting radio signals into the dark, essentially screaming, "Hey, is anyone there?" But we get absolutely zero response. Well, today we're going to dive into a truly fascinating scenario presented in our source material, The Wardens of the Anthropocene Reserve. We're going to break down a case study built on a pretty mind-blowing premise. What if the universe isn't empty at all? What if, actually, Earth is a heavily guarded, restricted cosmic nature reserve, and the silence we're hearing is entirely by design? To really wrap our heads around how this kind of cosmic management would even work, we have to look at this quote. In a national park, you do not feed the bears, and you do not let them see your car. It's brilliant, right? Because it perfectly sums up the core mandate of the Galactic Conservancy. Think of them as alien wardens. Their entire job is to watch over developing worlds without ever interfering. The source text actually mentions this one time a previous warden nudged our Voyager 1 probe just a tiny fraction of a degree to save its golden record from a radiation cloud. But even that was considered this incredibly rare, sentimental violation of protocol. Most of the time, they just watch us from the shadows.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the Earth Nature Reserve, focusing in on Observation Station Aegis 7. Now, it is wildly interesting to see exactly how these alien wardens, who are operating from this cloaked observation station called Aegis 7, formally classify our planet in their database. Officially, Earth is a Class 4 strict nature reserve, and we, Homo sapiens, are listed as the dominant taxon. But here is the kicker. Our threat index is rated as high. Why? Because of our early-stage atomic capabilities and, frankly, our high propensity for violence. Because of this high threat level, Senior Warden J. Koran and his junior officer Sela operate under an absolutely strict management protocol, the Zero Contact Directive, which they call the anthropic illusion. I mean, even when Sela practically begs to intervene to stop humans from polluting the atmosphere and triggering a marine extinction, J. Koran flat out refuses. No matter what, they do not touch the reserve.
You know, this strict observation protocol actually aligns perfectly with a really famous real-world concept, the zoo hypothesis. It's a proposed solution to the Fermi paradox, which is basically the math saying aliens should definitely exist versus our complete and total lack of evidence for them. The zoo hypothesis suggests that advanced alien life intentionally avoids communicating with Earth just to let us evolve naturally. In our source material, the wider universe is actually crowded, it's noisy, it's highly organized. We just happen to be the oblivious creatures inside the zoo enclosure, completely unaware of our caretakers. Moving right along to Section 2, a breach in the system. Let's talk about the Kuiper Belt incident. So the quiet is suddenly shattered when a boundary infraction happens near the Kuiper Belt, and we get to see two totally different perspectives of the exact same event. From the human perspective, scientists at the Lunar Array for Radio Astronomy, over on the dark side of the moon, detect these incredibly tiny, focused gravitational waves that are decelerating near Neptune. Dr. Elena Vance is looking at this and realizes this is entirely unnatural. Space rocks do not decelerate like this. But from the Warden perspective, Jacorin and Sela instantly recognize the gravimetric footprint. There's no mystery for them. It's a cloaked Chitnus Syndicate poacher freighter running cold, trying to sneak past the sector patrol. So the obvious question is, what on earth do these poachers actually want? The target they've acquired isn't our gold, it's not our water. The poachers are making a beeline straight for the deep-sea extremophile colonies down in the Tonga-Kermadec Trench. These bacterial enzymes evolved under intense heat and crushing pressure, and interstellar pharmaceutical corporations prize them for life-prolonging serums and advanced bioplastics. To an alien poacher, this deep-sea biological soup is literally worth more than diamonds, and they are absolutely willing to drop a thermal drill and wipe out an ecosystem that took billions of years to evolve just to scoop it up. Which brings us to Section 3, the Deep Sea Battle, a high-stakes clash in the abyss. Okay, things escalate ridiculously fast here. At hour 1, the object slips quietly past Neptune. By hour 2, the human scientists are using emergency protocols to swing a space telescope at the anomaly, and they manage to spot the active thermal signature of a ship. At hour 3, the poacher hits Earth's atmosphere and drops this massive, crab-like thermal drilling probe straight into the Pacific Ocean. By hour 4, the Wardens realize they're in a tough spot. They can't just use an EMP without frying a nearby human research vessel. So they actually transition their own interceptor ship, the Nadir Seeker, into aquatic mode. They hit the ocean going Mach 3 to intercept this probe before it boils those delicate hydrothermal vent ecosystems alive. And right here we get this incredible moment of dramatic irony. Think about Dr. Eris Thorne, a human oceanographer, sitting on a research ship right above the trench. What did he actually hear?
His hydrophones picked up these deep, rhythmic metallic pulses and a localized thermal spike of 5 degrees Celsius, but absolutely zero seismic tremors. He was completely baffled. But what was actually happening 6 miles straight down below him? A literal, fierce underwater firefight. The Wardens were blasting non-destructive acoustic interdiction shockwaves to knock the poacher's probe off course. Meanwhile, the poacher freighter was firing back with illegal, superheated, high-energy plasma bolts straight into the water, and the Wardens had to absorb all of it with their gravity shields.
And that takes us to Section 4, preserving the grand illusion, the painstaking process of erasing the evidence.
So the Wardens managed to crush the poacher probe with a gravity well, and the freighter scrambles and flees. But the fight isn't over. Now they have to preserve the anthropic illusion. They immediately execute this meticulous geomagnetic masking protocol to scrub the whole event from human records. Step 1, they deploy a localized EMP designed to perfectly mimic a high-altitude solar flare, completely knocking out the human research ship's sensors. Step 2, they broadcast a modified super-low-frequency blue whale distress call directly over the residual underwater battle sounds to act as a biological audio mask. And Step 3, they beam a simulated cosmic ray impact glitch straight into the lunar array servers to completely scramble the telescope data. As Jacorin points out, humans are highly creative. If you hand them a plausible natural explanation, the scientific establishment will eagerly adopt it, just to avoid admitting they have no clue what actually happened. 50. That is exactly how many solar cycles it will take for Earth's natural tectonic subduction to drag that crushed alien wreckage deep down into the Earth's mantle. In just 50 years, any trace of its origin will be melted down and hidden from humanity forever.
Finally, Section 5, a new Fermi paradox. Let's look at the aftermath of this whole incident. Unsurprisingly, the Wardens' cover-up is a total success. The European Space Agency officially comes out and blames a software calibration error for the weird gravity data. Down on Earth, marine biologists confidently classify that epic alien underwater clash as just the vocalizations of a deformed blue whale, which they affectionately nickname the Kermadex solitary. Life just goes on. Except Dr. Elena Vance manages to keep one encrypted flash drive containing a single, pixelated but uncorrupted image of the alien ship. Standing up there on the moon, looking back down at Earth, she has this profound realization. We aren't the kings of the castle. We aren't the brave pioneers of some empty, vast frontier. We are simply creatures playing in a clearing, constantly being watched by unseen guardians, hiding just beyond the tree line. 3. That is the very last number Jacorin enters into his system log. He formally recommends adjusting the station's cloaking arrays by exactly 3%, because even though the illusion holds for now, humans are building better and better sensors. As he puts it, we're slowly beginning to look closer at the edges of our cage.
Which leaves us with this final provocative thought to wrap up today's explainer. When we look up at the night sky and puzzle over the Fermi paradox, we almost always assume that the silence means absence, that nobody is there. But what if it actually means presence? If the universe is quiet, are we truly alone, or are we just being protected? It's an absolutely fascinating lens to view our place in the cosmos.
Please like and subscribe.